Welcome back. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Okita Talks. Today, we're gonna watch three videos and we're gonna discuss the contents of these videos. So, let's get into it.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here. It ain't even enough of us around. Like, let's be honest. So at the end of the day, we can go ahead and put that 50-50 conversation to rest because every woman ain't gonna get 80, 20, 100, 0, whatever y'all thinking is gonna be 60, 40. Some of y'all gonna have to go 50-50 and shit. Y'all might gotta go 60-40 on your end with the man just to be happy at the end of the day. Like, let's be realistic. Come on now. Somebody gonna have to settle, man. That's all I'm saying. All the straight men.
Or you could remain single. If I'm gonna go 80-20 with a man, 70-30, 60-40, just to say I have a man, ma'am, you're very much single. What is the point?
That's left in the world. A lot of them is in jail. A lot of them married. What do that leave left? Everybody can't. Everybody can't have they cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you gotta just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful. Because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable.
Okay, let's discuss this piece. He says you could have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable. Why do men still equate single being miserable? Just because you're single doesn't mean you're miserable. You could be in a household with a man paying 70% of the bills. And, sir, that is the definition of miserable. And doing all the household work by yourself. That, by far, sounds way more miserable than staying by myself, paying all my bills, and living in peace.
Come on now. J. Cole said, love yours. I gotta take this in consideration.
Now, from the beginning of his video, he immediately lost me, telling women that you're gonna have to settle. Sir, it sounds like you men are getting desperate and you're literally trying to have women convince themselves they need to pay men to be in their homes just to say they have a man. But before I discuss that, let's watch another video.
This comment was left on another video that has absolutely nothing to do with me, but I could not make a video about it. Yes, marriage is a job you would never apply for. Imagine if the job description were honest. Wife wanted. This job will add approximately 7 to 10 hours of additional unpaid labor to your life every week. Job comes with an annual decrease in life satisfaction and contentment. You will not be given any sick leave, but you will be expected to cover your partner's sick leave, which will often coincide with the time that you're also sick. Speaking of
So, to be clear, this is what women need to settle for: marriage, no sick days, unpaid work, no time off. Let her continue. She was just starting to cook.
well, this job boasts of the ability to make you less healthy year after year after year. We offer a stunning benefit package of increased rates of depression, decreased life expectancy, and fewer orgasms. What's
Wait, so you're telling me married women die faster than single women? You're telling me they're not happy in this fantasy land called marriage? Tell me more.
the compensation for this phenomenal gig? Why, we think it's quite competitive. You will lose money. You will actually pay us for all of these honors. That's right, married women, despite taking on all of this additional work, will make less money than their single counterparts. Not sold yet? Don't worry. We'll sweeten the deal with an increased risk of self-unaliving. In fact, every way we could conceive of to measure life satisfaction from every different angle, yeah, your life will be worse post-marriage. But don't you worry, because most of them will end in divorce anyway, and a long, expensive, drawn-out, stressful court battle where your ex will very likely weaponize your own children against you. Also, that you can get the court's permission to break up with this person. But hey, like, weddings are real fun. You get to be the center of attention for a whole day. Probably the last day that you'll be the center of anyone's attention. So we'll make it real special. Might as well be a pre-funeral anyway, since marriage is likely to shorten your lifespan. And if you do get terminally ill, the statistical probability that he's going to leave you is not low. Hey, if it doesn't
So it is a fact. Women do initiate most divorces. However, that number is flipped once the woman becomes terminally ill. So if you, for some reason, catch a terminal illness, cancer, or anything else, that's when the odds are against you that your husband will stay with you. Or also when you're pregnant. Men will tell you they want babies. However, I have not met a single woman who, while she was pregnant, her man or her husband did not cheat on her. And then he blamed it on said pregnancy. Or after she's now responsible to take care of that child that she just grew in her body and then gave birth to. So during the moments that you are the most vulnerable is when your man will not only cheat on you, but it's highly more likely that he will divorce and or leave you.
Work out, you could just find somebody new and do it all over again. But you should probably look up second marriage failure rates because they're significantly higher than first. And don't even get me started on third marriage divorce rates. You might as well get divorced first. Anyway, congratulations, you have been picked. We have decided to extend you an offer for this position.
Now, if you're still brave enough to embark into this thing called marriage, let me just play another video for you and then we'll discuss.
4% of divorced women never want to remarry. That's the majority. 70% of divorces are filed by women. That number increases to 90% when the woman is college educated. These are the facts. 97% increase in divorce, in the risk of divorce when men don't help with the housework. Women are expected to carry the loads, and they typically do.
When I hear a man trying to shame a woman for being single or not wanting to get married, it takes me back to these facts. Because I'm sure most of us have seen the video of, the guy online crashing out because he had to go to the bank and had to go to the pharmacy on his own, and where are the submissive women to take care of all of that for him? Because as a man, the only thing he should have to do is just go to work. That's it. Everything else she should be responsible for. So when I hear women glorifying marriage as if it's some type of sanction that protects them from anything, you are a glorified slave. And I'm going to take out the glorify out of it because men add the word glorify to it to make it sound as if this is a job that you should want. You should willingly wake up every day and tell yourself you need a husband. You need a husband to do everything for him while simultaneously taking care of yourself, the children, the household, while the only thing he has to do is go to work. And let's face it, in this economy, most women have to work. And if you don't want to work and you want to be a stay-at-home anything, I pity you. I genuinely pity you, because when that man is ready to literally disarm you and remind you you do nothing for him, it's going to be a very sad day for you. But this is the reality. Men crashing out online now because they are realizing women are not falling for this anymore. Majority of women are waking up to this nonsense they call marriage.
And then when she's tired, you act like she shouldn't be tired.
I've had 2 living boyfriends my whole life, and I had an experience with both of them because neither one of them saw any problem with me doing pretty much everything in the household. One did cook. The second one did not cook. He did absolutely nothing whatsoever. However, one did cook, but he saw no problem with me working, going to school, in grad school, going to grad school, taking care of the household, still doing everything for him. Also, I should start him a business because I made the silly idea to say, well, hey, what you're doing now, you could start your own business and, you could do this by yourself. Set up an Instagram, do certain things for yourself. That man let me know that I should do that because I'm better at it. Keep in mind, I had just came on social media. I knew nothing about it. I'd been on social media for maybe 2 years at that point, and I was barely online. So this man really just told me, well, yeah, take care of that as well. And take care of this. Get my life in order on paper while you're in grad school, while you're working, while you're doing this. Oh, yeah, and also I'm going to want kids while you're doing all of this. So if I didn't actually stop and pay attention, you have now made everything, including your life, my responsibility. And the only thing you were responsible to do was to go to work and come back and maybe cook if you wanted to. That was it. But I am now responsible to get your entire life in order on paper. And the second one did the absolute same thing as well. But he made it very clear he was doing absolutely nothing. And there was no shame behind it. And don't tell yourself that you're tired. And not to mention, when I was tired or wanted to go to sleep, you know what both of these men were doing? Online or on their phone talking to other women. Because I had the nerve to be tired. Why would I be tired? We're just not supposed to be tired. You're supposed to take care of them. every minute, every second of the day. That's it. Don't get tired because that's not what you're here to do. You are here to serve.
Tell women to stop reasoning with men and stop talking to them. Show them better than you can tell them. And that's exactly what they're doing, showing you better than they can tell you. 54% of them don't want to marry you no more.
This goes without saying, I'm clearly in that 54%. At this point in my life, I mean, I couldn't pay me to get married. You couldn't pay me to get married. Even if I went into a marriage and someone tells me, okay, well, I don't even want to sign a prenup, you can take whatever I still don't want it. I don't want it. There isn't a single word that a man could tell me to entice me into getting married. It is a scam to me. It's literally slavery that women walk into and glorify and tell themselves, oh, I'm going to be a bride. It's going to be all about me for a day. After that day, that's it. And even on that day, most of these men are so self-centered and love looking at themselves so much, that day will also still be about them. Not that it matters, because to me, the whole marriage and the big wedding, it's all a big waste of money to me. It's all a scam. I'm just not interested in any of it. Not to mention, you don't want to have hopes and dreams when you venture into this thing called marriage. I will say, being with both of these men slowed down my progress in life severely. Severely. As far as finishing school or even starting a business, both of those things I did after leaving both of them. Men find a way of crippling you and crippling the things that you are good at. I write books, one of them, like, without even really doing much, made it clear, like, or try to keep me so busy that the things that I wanted to do for myself were put on the back burner until they were forgotten. They're so needy and demand so much of your time that before you know the things that are important to you, you are no longer doing them. Now you're just hyper focused on making them happy, keeping them happy, ensuring that what they need or want in the household is constantly there, because, now you are running errands. You are now an assistant. Everything they want has to be in the house. Anything they like, you have to constantly be doing it. It leaves little to no time for you. And God forbid these men want children. So if you're a woman with any level of ambition, you want to own your own business, or you want to just do your own thing in general, you want to finish your degree, do all of those things and then get a man. If you insist on getting a man, finish the things that matter to you before you get a man, because that man will slow you down and or stop you dead in your tracks out of sheer jealousy, out of the need to seem as if he is the one with all the bright ideas. And the next thing, a lot of these women who are married, I don't want to say they deserve more respect than they get, because they sit in these things and they allow the men to take ownership of their own ideas. A lot of the things that these married men are doing, it's the idea that came from the wife. It's the wife telling you to do this business idea. It's the wife giving you that idea. It's the wife even allowing you the space to create certain things. But women sit idly behind these men and allow them to get the credit. You allow your husband to get the credit for ideas that you have birthed in an effort to make him seem as if he's the leader. A lot of these marriages are led by these women when it comes on to the intellectual portion of what actually happens within the household. But men take the credit for it because, they just need to seem as if they're the ones leading. So I question you, what is the point? You may say you want a leader, but when you really sit down and look at how the household is ran and certain things that are applied to your day to day, did you come up with that or did he? When it comes down to the finances, is he really in charge or are you? Like, for me, it's just, I'm not giving up that reign of peace to a man when I know a lot of the chaos that was introduced to my life was brought in by a man. There's a level of peace that exits your home when you introduce a man to your safe zone. And it's a game of Russian roulette, really, trying to figure out who you're going to wake up to day after day, let alone years after you've invested your time. God forbid you marry these men without a prenup. And I'm all about prenup on both sides, the man and the woman. You come in with what you got, whatever you created, whether it be a business idea, anything you develop as a result of your own brain or mind, even your hands, it's yours. I don't want anything of yours and you are not getting anything of mine. Let's be very clear on that. So if you insist on getting married, I advise you, get a prenup and be very clear in it. Whether you had it before marriage or during your marriage, because then it's considered community property, include in your prenup that whatever each other creates belongs, it's the sole proprietor of the person who came up with the idea. It doesn't matter if you came and you tweet this and you tweet that, it still belongs to that person. Then that's if you insist on getting married. And also, for some women who do not know, if you buy a house with your partner, which again, I do not advise you, if you're going to buy a house in your marriage, buy it in one of your names. Don't buy it in both, because when you divorce, not if, but when you divorce, it's going to be hell to pay. So if you even owned a home prior to getting married, and let's say you got married in 2020 and you're getting a divorce in 2025. Yes, you owned that property before you got married, but guess what they don't tell you? You see the interest that house accrued from 2020 to 2025, or whenever your divorce is finalized? That's 50-50. You're going to have to split the interest of a home that you owned prior to your marriage. And this goes for both men and women. So when you're jumping into these marriage all willy-nilly, oh, I'm in love, cover your ASS. And I will say that to you again, because even the things you own prior to marriage are up for grabs once you are going through a divorce. You owned your home before you got married. The interest in that home. And just quickly, before we wrap up with the ending of that video, also, in the event of a divorce, let's say you have opened an account with you and your child's name on it. Your spouse can go into court or request their lawyer to have you present documentation, including third-party bank accounts with your name on it. So if you have an account that you have stashed away for your children with your name on it because your children are minors, that bank account that you have that you thought was for your children, that man or woman can also get 50% of that in the event of a divorce. So again, if you want to go ahead and get married, by all means, do your thing. I encourage you to get a prenup, and do not fall for this. It's love and I love him and he loves me. Cover your ass. I'm going to tell you that. Cover all of it, because everything you have is up for grabs, and depending on the state that you're in, each and everything. Also, if you don't know, if you're married and you're pregnant in the state of California, Arkansas, there are 4 other states that this is still a law in today. If you are pregnant and you're married, you cannot divorce your husband until after you've given birth. So no matter what that man is doing to you while you're pregnant, just know you cannot divorce him until well after you have given birth. Also something to think about prior to getting into a marriage. I mean, as the men are going to say, pick better, right? Even though they never actually show who they are until after they own you on paper. Funny how that works. Let's continue.
90% of them who got sense and got degrees are divorcing you, and 70% of women got sense to divorce you and stay divorced. The facts will speak for themselves. The truth don't need no defense.
The facts will speak for themselves. And the truth is, the facts are speaking for themselves. One other thing I forgot to mention, which I'm sure at this point most of us may be privy to this information, your retirement is also up for grabs. So let's just say you've been working for 20, 25 years and you have a nice, little retirement setup. You're in your 40s, close to your 50s, or anywhere as far as I'm concerned. As long as you have your retirement and you're looking forward to that. In the case of a divorce, guess what? Your spouse can request 50% of your retirement fund. 50%. This person has never went to work with you a single day in their life. This person has contributed a single day in their life to your retirement fund, but half of that is now up for them. And before the men come in my comments, I'm talking for the men and for the women as well. I do not think that this is fair in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. So again, if you are going to embark in a marriage, understand 70% of marriages end in divorce. And a man will remarry. 54% of women, which is the majority, do not remarry after a divorce. They're like, okay, I've tried this, done it, it's not for me. Y'all can keep it. A man will remarry. No questions asked. And you know why? It serves them. Marriage serves men. The end of the day, it lightens their load because they now have an assistant. They have a secretary. They have a nanny. It benefits them. So immediately upon a divorce, you can look forward to a man getting into another relationship if he didn't already have shorty waiting in the background, which we all know. The odds are likely she was there already. So if you want to embark in a marriage, go ahead. But if you insist on doing it, make sure you cover yourself. Get a prenup. And if you're in your early 20s, don't let a man tell you that you need to rush and go get married. Because after you go and get married to him in his 20s, he will still be living his life very actively outside and then telling you he's young. He's young. And because he's young, that's why he's still living his life. So women aren't young. Shorty, live your life, get your degree, get your career, buy a house, travel the world, do whatever it is that you want to do. Don't let anyone trick you into getting married because these men never grow up. I haven't met a single woman there's only one woman I know that's happily married. Every other woman that I know that's married, and she's in her 60s. Every other woman that I know that's married, they're miserable. And they're all encouraging women who aren't married not to get married. And if they insist on doing it, make sure they get a prenup and make sure they don't get married based on the timeline that the man has set for them. If you just met a man and he wants to marry you, it's a red flag. Leave that man alone.
54% of divorced women never want to remarry. That's the majority.
You no longer the days of marriage when you have men online pleading, using different words, but pleading to convince women to settle for their nonsense and just pick a guy and settle down. They know you have choices and they see the numbers rising in women who have absolutely no interest in participating in this section of life. Like, it is your choice. Don't allow anyone to bamboozle you into this. Yes, I'm sure there are good men out there. However, the odds are not with us. And the rhetoric online, men come online trying to convince women to settle and just marry just to have a man. But I rarely see videos where men are addressing men and telling men to be better men. The nonsense that keeps spewing around, or the most popular conversation online, is these women, they're expecting too much, you're expecting too much. So just lower your expectations, lower your standards, and just settle. Just pick a man to take care of. Just pick a man so you can have someone to take care of. That is the rhetoric. You don't really see men getting online and telling other men to do better, act better, make better choices, respect women. But yet they're online crashing out that they need helpmates and we're all the submissive women and da 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 da. Like, sir, the submissive women that you thought were here back in the 1970s, they were not submissive. They were being held captive. Held captive. They had no rights. They couldn't buy a home. They couldn't buy a car. They couldn't even leave the doctors without a man coming there to sign for them. Couldn't even open a bank account until about 75 years ago, to be exact. So the women that you are online screaming for, they have educated their daughters, their granddaughters, their nieces to ensure that we all get degrees, we all buy our own homes, we all have and maintain our own jobs and careers. Those women that you are speaking of and keep referring to, they have educated the younger generation to do better than them and not fall enslaved to a man, because that's all it was. They were trapped. They could not leave. These women were not there willingly. You have 12, 13-year-old women being married off because their family needed help with their farms or they needed money. That's all it was. Women were sold as cattle. And this is the day and age that you men are online screaming that you wanted to go back to. It says a lot about them. And then you wonder why women are preferring to work 2, 3 jobs than to bring one of you vultures into their homes. Like, again, if you want to embark on marriage, more power to you. Do your thing. Protect yourself.